The initial warning sign appeared when the lab-engineered human smirked post-clinical death declaration. Dr. Velix, of the Krathar Collective, had analyzed 400-plus species across 6 spiral arms, yet nothing primed him for human specimen 7b. Vitals flatlined, neural activity ceased, circulatory system stopped. Muscle spasms were brushed off as typical post-mortem twitches until it opened its eyes, deliberately blinked at the surgical lights, and quipped, "Is that your best shot?" Velix fumbled his data slate, prompting nervous chattering from the assistants. Alarmed, Research Overseer Dranak spat from his vantage above the containment pit. "Seal Room 9! Double the field dampeners!" he roared. Guards fumbled, their translator collars buzzing as they yelled revised protocols. Specimen 7B remained motionless, a knowing, unsettling smile stretched across its face, as if privy to a future, yet unwritten. 3 cycles later, Velnik sat amidst screens in Sector Theta's sterile chamber, endlessly replaying the footage. For the 12th time, the human's words glowed with an insistent yellow script. Just a question, devoid of aggression or threats. But Velnik was haunted by the smile, not sinister, though it was unnerving, nor confident, despite its unsettling ease. It was the chilling sense that the human hadn't fought death. It had embraced it. Velnik refocused his neural lens, pulling up the genomic schematics, line by line. Thread by thread, the DNA writhed and pirouetted before him in captivating disarray. 5 iterations prior, his team achieved the monumental feat of sequencing the entire human genome. No startling revelations emerged. The familiar double helix structure, repetitive elements, vestiges of ancient viruses, and conventional carbon-based biological makeup. The peculiar aspect was the sheer information density of human DNA, unparalleled by any species documented. A curiosity, yet not a cause for concern. The true alarm originated from an automated flag. Section Delta 32 of the human genome triggered an encoded warning within the lab's archaic Krathar threat detection system. Advanced detection software, a meticulously crafted genetic code embedded within nucleotides, possessing mathematical perfection unseen since the Singularity War. Accidental decryption revealed a kill protocol, a literal executable program encoded within life itself, not silicon. Velnik inhaled deeply, replaying the simulation. Exhibited a simulated activation event, prompted by post-mortem cellular disintegration. Genomic instability unleashed a cascade via non-coding DNA. Protein chains reacted as relay circuits, illuminating sequences that activated profound bodily reserves. Mitochondria experienced a surge, adrenaline analogs escalated, neural pathways rerouted. The model forecasted a partial cerebral deactivation, yet enhanced cortical acuity. Cardiac rhythms surpassed lethal limits, stabilizing after 17 seconds. Pain receptors extinguished, memory retrieval intensified. The deceased subject had inexplicably become a superior engineer. Kroll, the junior Kitharanian, shuffled into the chamber, gill plates fluttering. "Sir, how many times has Subject 7 been terminated?" 13, confirmed, Velnik stated. "Twice by induced organ failure, thrice by cerebral trauma, the remainder chemically. It regenerates every time." Velnix paused, considering. With each iteration, it evolves, becoming more acute, more rapid. It ceased blinking after the 3rd revival. Its pulse is undetectable by standard biomonitors. Kroll hesitated, feathers drooping along his scalp. And Sir seems to recall everything, even pre-clinical death events. Velnix activated a control glyph. Retrieve the primary Terran archives again, the pre-uplift documents. They're unconfirmed, sir. Written language, archaic formats, folklore and conjecture. Humans crafted myths because they lacked alternate data storage. Velnix retorted. However, their narratives invariably hold slivers of reality. Unearth those concerning rebirth, frenzied warriors, the undead, anything where death precedes enhanced power. Kroll paused. Are you suggesting this is ingrained? That they engineered this? Velnix remained silent, fixated on a translated Terran artifact, an image of a human body pierced by arrows, defiant amidst corpses. That which fails to vanquish me empowers me, he declared. Analyze the smile, frame by frame. Kroll obeyed, freezing frame 7B, relaxed eyes, bared teeth, forward tilt, intention calculated. That's not a genuine expression. Death's visage, Velnix murmured. That's a grim reward. He pivoted toward Kroll. Seal off the lower research wings. No further termination protocols. No more stress tests. Keep the subject pacified. Kroll blinked. But Supervisor Danik wanted, I will address the supervisor. Velnix stepped forward, his exosuit groaning. If this protocol is what ICE's rest, we haven't simply decoded a new species. We've unleashed a safeguard, a sleeping weapon. He strided toward the exit, his voice hushed. Something within them is dormant, and we've just signaled its time to awake. Subject 7 must be stopped. End transmission. Post-15th termination, divorced from trauma, fear, or detectable neurological decay. Vocal cords pristine, language centers not just intact, but blazing with activity. The subject opted for profound silence, observing. Velnix, claws clasped behind, mandibles subtly clicking, contemplated from behind the polarized window as dimmed light bathed cells F and B, following its unsettling stare. Glued to the wall-mounted monitors for relentless hours, his gaze unwavering. Never a twitch, never a blink, not a single one since Event 13. A field drone shadowed Velnix, showcasing a dynamic log of all active diagnostics. Any further deviations? He inquired, eyes fixed. Kroll's voice, static-laced, emerged from the drone's comport. Nothing post the autonomic surge at 0431, however. Something's shifted. The protein cascade associated with Delta 32 is no longer exclusively linked to cellular demise. It's evolving. We're observing sub-threshold activation triggered by emotional stimuli. Velnix pivoted, Tenny ascending marginally, signifying fury, sir, or our approximation of it. Heightened cortisol, amplified synaptic firing in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. The kill sequence evolves, recalibrating its activation parameters. Inconceivable, Velnix declared. It transcends mere organismic behavior, now a recursive, self-aware system, iteratively refining itself. The human's head rotated with agonizing slowness, locking its gaze with Velnix through the fortified crystal barrier. It flashed another smile. Velnix recoiled. Did you see that? He breathed into the drone. Confirmed. Timestamp logged, it replied. It's reacting to audio, Velnix murmured, bewildered. No speakers in the cell. Nowhere it could hear us. His voice trailed off. Later that cycle, the Council of Directive Sciences convened in Sector Theta's most secure vault. Overseer Dranik was present, alongside two off-world envoys from the Seaxaria Accord and the Skilith Matronet. Both were enveloped in protective atmospheric gear, visibly shaken by the analyzed data. "This subject emits a hiss," the Seaxarian representative began, the words echoing through the vault. The Seagari envoy's voice, distorted by the translation matrix, originated from resurrected Terran specimens discovered on Gamma Phoenix 4. "Affirmative," Belnick confirmed. "Cryogenically preserved tissue, employing primitive human techniques, dating back an estimated 600 planetary cycles." "Unskilled and unmodified," Dranik added. The Silith delegates' agitated buzzing filled the room. "Then how can it pose such a threat?" Velnick gestured to the holographic displays. "The DNA wasn't of human design, not modernly. It's ancient, deeply encoded. We theorize the protocol was never activated consciously. Design it, propagated like a plague, evolving relentlessly, a lethal contagion." "A kill virus?" the Saxari inquired, astonished. "A behavioral cascade," Velnix clarified, "activated by menace, sharpened by suffering, transmitted through ancestral resilience. Mortality wasn't definitive for humans, it was iterative. Each brush with death enhanced subsequent survivors." Duranic scoffed. "You're idealizing savages. I'm identifying a trend." Velnick responded softly. "This isn't some anomalous genetic flaw. It's inherent in every one of them, every human." "Then why didn't they conquer the cosmos?" "Because they never," Velnix retorted. "We provided ample warnings. Recall the devastation on Hades Phi. The colony consumed in 3 days. We initially deemed it a collapse." He altered the projection, revealing claw-scarred steel, molten fusion cores, and countless mangled remains, human and alien alike. "Now I suspect it was a containment effort. They discovered something they couldn't risk disseminating, so they eradicated themselves." The Silith hissed once more. "Are you suggesting they self-sacrificed their entire colony?" Velnix murmured. "It wouldn't be unprecedented. Investigate." Silence descended upon the vault, echoing Chernobyl's past as Drownick inquired, "Shall we suspend replication?" Velnick countered sharply, "Cease all sampling, sequencing, and behavioral integration. Above all, Number 7B must never face combat. No arms, no foes, no pain tests." The Sexari nodded in agreement, yet Dronick's crest flickered. "This evolved code. It's a system of worth, a potential weapon if isolated and extracted." Velnick retorted, "You misunderstand. Wildfire cannot be contained." "Dronick, your report's concluded, but authority now rests with military intelligence. We'll extract this protocol and enhance our gene legions, potentially inviting annihilation." Dronick's smile chilled. "Then history will remember us as the pioneers who surpassed humanity." 3 cycles onward, Subject 7B was transferred to Draen V's combat testing site. 3 guards perished during the transfer. The inaugural combat drone survived a mere 13 seconds. This wasn't a malfunction, a coding error, or a mechanical breakdown. The drone was superbly calibrated, armed, and primed with anti-organic precision charges. It unleashed 3 initial shots center mass. Subject 7B, unfazed, absorbed the impacts. One ripped through its upper abdomen, another pulverized its clavicle. The third narrowly missed the heart. Viscous, dark blood gushed freely down its flank, yet it remained upright. Instead of collapsing, or even charging, It advanced deliberately, walking directly into the drone's firing path. Detecting a perimeter breach, the drone engaged its lateral thrusters, attempting to reposition and re-evaluate, but it was far too late. The human. It ascended not gracefully, but explosively, a pure vertical assault that pulverized its knees on impact. Irrelevant. Its grip fastened on the drone's neck, obliterating the synth alloy with a sickening crunch, ripping the machine to shreds. Then, amidst the gore, it savagely reset its shoulder against the floor. Dranvey's deck went mute as Velnix watched the feed from exile. A close-orbit shuttle, its secondary optics dimming, rumbled, "Fools." He meticulously analyzed the feed. Despite grievous wounds and organ trauma, the human's pulse intensified with unnerving accuracy. No panic, no shock. A rhythmic, mechanical surge, like an engine igniting. Death wasn't an end, but a gateway. Below, Dranik's command center buzzed with military biotechnicians and xenogeneticists, their monitors displaying Subject 7B's vital signs, now exhibiting a data signature identical to A. The military AI's core pulsated with rhythmic precision, cortisol levels impeccably managed, its focus absolute, unwavering, relentless. This feels unnatural, an engineer murmured. Not unnatural, advanced, Dranik corrected sharply. Sir, the knee damage, it's healing. Drowning out the concern, Dranik gestured at the data. Ligament regeneration initiated. Hemostasis 8 times quicker than any human benchmark. It doesn't just respond to damage, it evolves beyond it. And the pain receptors? Completely suppressed. 2 hours later, the next drone emerged. More intelligent, more agile, better armed with localized EMP nodes woven into triple redundant targeting arrays. It never breached 20 meters. Subject 7 Bravo neutralized it with a chair, not hurled, but occupied. He patiently waited as the drone performed 2 evaluation circuits. On its third descent, probing for armaments, 7B rose, chair in hand, transitioned from a walk to a sprint, culminating in a vault. Metal collided with carbon fiber at forces surpassing safety margins. The chair fractured, the drone shattered, a leg piercing its optical sensor. The remainder plummeted like a brutal hammer. No triumphant shout, no trace of a smile this time. Just a calculated, cold-blooded execution, one biocommander murmured. Cancel the third trial. No, Dranik countered, eyes blazing with excitement. Deploy it. But use the clone squad. Let's observe its reaction to a familiar element. The clones, born from meticulously refined human DNA, docile and obedient, stood tall. 3 imposing figures, muscular, with vacant stares and utterly passive expressions. Their directive was straightforward: subdue and restrain. They survived a mere 18 seconds. 7B didn't simply incapacitate them. It didn't kill out of fear. It murdered with surgical precision, targeting the throat, knee, and spine. 2 fell almost immediately. Brandishing a weapon significantly larger than the others, it attempted speech, managing only comply before its skull impacted the floor, creating a crater. The human then paused, gazing towards the observation dome, pointing with unnerving precision, not at a wall, but directly at the control booth where Jeranik stood. Security immediately cut the feed. Velnix, from his shuttle, witnessed the dead screen flicker, static lines obscuring the final image. The bloodied human towering over 3 lifeless bodies, arm outstretched like a grim reaper rendering judgment. Sentencing. Not a test subject. A message. He breathed. Kroll's voice, laced with unease, cut through. Sir, audio's down. The chamber's system isn't malfunctioning. Velnik retorted, He disabled it. Impossible, sir. It's a containment zone. He defied it, Velnik asserted. He's not grasping survival. He's mastering control. He's communicating, just beyond our words. Silence from Kroll. Establish a secure council uplink, Velnik commanded, and initiate Dryan Bay evacuation protocols within the hour. Orbit evacuation is now critically unsafe, sir. The subject remains secured within Velnik's sector for the immediate moment. Subject 7 ceased all hostile actions upon door breach. No alarms triggered, no breach protocols initiated, no intrusion signal detected, merely a faint exhale. The inner containment wall peeled open, resembling parchment dissolved in corrosive acid. Aboard the orbiting shuttle, Velnik monitored live orbital feeds, observing atmosphere sensors glitch and subsequently shut down. The data feed flatlined for a tense 4 seconds before the monitor erupted in crimson. Systems offline, all locks disengaged, all personnel rendered inactive. The subject previously designated as such now traverses the northern loading bay with unnerving mechanical precision, displaying zero signs of duress or being chased. This isn't an escape, but a liberation. Kroll's strained voice echoed the planetary command core. His unresponsive, civilian stations plunged into darkness. Military AIs are endlessly repeating emergency protocols. The entire base appears to have lost all operational capacity. It hasn't forgotten, Velnik stated gravely. It has evolved, mirroring its subject, sir. What's the... If a contingency arises, shall we unleash orbital weaponry? Negative. Velnik reiterated, he transcends containment. A preemptive strike would only accelerate his evolution, starve him of further intelligence. Kroll fell silent. The cameras registered the human halting at an intersection. An innocuous cart obstructed the corridor, a mere tool dolly carelessly abandoned by a technician. 7B squatted, scrutinized it, then deftly upended the dolly, extracting a wrench. A blank demeanor, no grandstanding, simply comprehension. He resumed his trek. Velnik's mandibles shifted anxiously. He's amassing tools. To what end? That remains the core inquiry, doesn't it? Back in orbit, the Council's emergency delegation established a transmission line overseer. Danica's signal was lost. His room designated as terminated by unknown cause. No footage, no black box, just the icon, flashing crimson. The Siloth delegate's voice crackled with static. Is it prioritizing leadership? No, Velnik countered. It's targeting systems, influence, control nodes. Can it replicate organically? Yes, but that's not the crucial concern. Then what is Velnik focused intently, eyes glued to the deliberate advance of the figure now proceeding into the western wing, heading directly for the planetary uplink terminal? Reproduction is irrelevant to him, Velnik stated. He propagates through observation. Every species that examines him surpasses their natural comprehension. That's the protocol. The further we investigate, the more profound the reaction. Each attempt to weaponize him acts as an instigator. He desires our attempts. Therefore, this was entirely bait. A trap. A self-reinforcing defense. Extraction and transplantation are futile. The DNA isn't a code to be deciphered, but rather an intricate puzzle, a reflection. The instant you engage, your own reasoning is turned against you. But what purpose lies in embedding such a mechanism into species? The delegate asserted. It's not merely perilous, but predatory. No, Belnick countered. It's survival in its purest essence. The protocol guarantees only the most robust, inquisitive, and audacious species capable of activating it are also the least equipped to endure the aftermath. It exacts retribution for exploitation, domination, and meddling. The Silith hissed. Then how do we thwart it? Velnix remained silent. Below, Unit 7B entered the uplink chamber, gazing up at the colossal terminal, a towering fusion of metal, crystalline channels and psionic regulators, masterfully crafted to orchestrate entire war fleets. The human, with a single touch to a node, sat in tranquil silence. No commands were given, no violence enacted. Yet one by one, the lights of the uplink terminal faded. The protocol, unresponsive to any threat, transmitted a crucial signal. 2 cycles later, the Krithar Collective terminated all research on human DNA. Every sample incinerated, all backup data purged from system archives, and replication attempts within containment cultures abruptly abandoned. Cells stubbornly refused division. Ambitious biofabrication yielded tissue that disintegrated rapidly. Subject 7B vanished entirely. No remains, no biochemical signature. His sole legacy, a coded warning transmitted via planetary uplink moments before system failure. A relentless multilingual echo. You have been cautioned. 15 years elapsed, then the vanishings commenced. Remote outposts, derelict stations, fell silent. No distress calls, no conflict indicators, simply obliteration. Crews gone. Vanished constructions, pristine energy reserves humming. But within each command center resided a primitive etching upon the walls. A mark composed of 2 bars piercing a coil. The age-old human representation for deoxyribonucleic acid. Yet one portion absent, as if extracted or roused.